What's up, guys? It's been a minute, had a lot of stuff going on, work, and I also was under the weather for a bit. So I just got out of the movie theater and had the chance to see The Fellowship of the Ring in theaters. It was re-airing. If it's doing that out here in the middle of nowhere where I am, then it's probably doing it near y'all. So do some digging and see if you can check this film out in the theater. I honestly didn't know if I'd ever get the opportunity to do so. I figured that was just something I missed being born, being super little in 2001. Dating myself a little bit there. But the theater was actually airing the extended edition as well. And though I own the second and third extended editions up there, I had never had the opportunity to see the first one extended edition. So this is my first time checking it out. And wow. I will say, I think that, I don't know if it was maybe the quality of the theater or whatever version, 4K, I don't know, they were airing. The colors felt a little diluted. The film didn't look as bright, vibrant, and colorful as I remembered, especially the scenes in the Shire and then anything outdoorsy, which is a lot of the film for sure. But it really was in that first act in the Shire when I was kind of, this looks a little grayer than I recall. And then when the film goes on to Moria, yeah, it was a little, I couldn't see everything as well. I don't know if maybe they did that intentionally to hide some of the CGI special effects that have aged a smidge. Overall, though, considering the film is almost 25 years old, it's still incredible. Just what at this point, I guess the Lord of the Rings trilogy just is a time capsule from the best that cinema could bring us, because nothing approaches it. The soundtrack, the performances, the sets, the special effects, the practical effects in particular. I don't even know where to begin. It was great. And I think there's just so many important messages about character, life, perseverance, everything we can learn from the whole trilogy as a whole. But I think what really stood out to me on this viewing was just, I really appreciated the deeper meaning behind the role that Gandalf takes as that angelic guide for the team, and the way that he sacrificed himself for them. And given the way that he comes back in the second book, hey, it sure seems like a parallel to Jesus Christ, I must say. And I love it. And Aragorn, him dwelling on the past, something he wasn't able to control, something he wasn't there for, but still bearing responsibility and a bit of reluctance to move forward and achieve what he was born to be, what he was born to do. I imagine many of us struggle with things like that. The more we learn about history, maybe our own family history, the more we learn about those that have gone before and how imperfect they were. But at the end of the day, I don't think we should take the imperfections and lay everything aside. It's important to be pragmatic, understand the context, and judge, but we still need to give people some grace. And I think that's exactly what Gandalf talks about when he says it was pity that stayed Bilbo's hand, and that we shouldn't be so quick to deal out death and judgment. And we never know what may come of something difficult, right? That's the whole theme of that film. And I love the way that the dialogue changes. When Gandalf is talking with Frodo, he says, all we can do is to decide what to do with the time that's been given to us. At the end of the film, Frodo's reflecting on those words. It's no longer we, it's all you can do is decide what to do with the time that's been given you. I have seen this film over and over, and I only caught that in recent viewings a year ago. Then we look at Boromir, case study on imperfection. We will all go through moments of weakness, but there's always hope of redemption. I think those are the larger themes at play. If I want to dive more into the technical stuff of the film, it still looks incredible. There were only a couple moments that took me out of it because I could tell they were special effects that were dated, but that was probably in part because I was watching it on the big screen. If I were watching it on a smaller screen, probably wouldn't have noticed. I wonder if that has something to do with maybe if they were showing the 4K version. I bet if they showed what was originally aired in 2001, since it's lower quality per se, more rugged, it'd probably look flawless still. I'm kind of tired of all these remasters and rehashing. I think they should just stick to it, right? And yeah, the only special effects that look dated to me are when they run out of Moria. If you look closely, you can tell that those aren't the actual actors. The bird spies that fly around, those didn't look as convincing, but golly, just about everything else still looks incredible. What an achievement. I mean, I'm so glad we have these films. Imagine something like that being made today. I don't know if they'd be able to pull it off. The sheer talent, the loaded cast, every character matters. The soundtrack is the best soundtrack we have ever had. I guess Dune Part 2 rivals it, but Lord of the Rings is longer. And it's incredible. Again, we can learn from failure. At the end of the film, they say the Fellowship has failed. But Aragorn assures them, not if we hold true to each other. Whatever you're going through, if you feel like you've failed, you can learn from it. And I advocate that by focusing on the higher purpose, putting our faith and our trust in God and Jesus Christ, following good examples, we can make the most out of what we found ourselves dealing with. And if this film is airing near you, check it out again. Watch it with some friends. If you haven't seen The Lord of the Rings, you're missing out. That's all I can say. Well, thanks for tuning into my ramblings. And I guess one thing I might add, I feel like I prefer the theatrical cut Just feels paced a little bit better. For the second and third film, though, extended edition is the GOAT. That's all I got for now. Peace.